Righteousness is not earned, it's received. And in Romans chapter 10, this is where Paul stands in the wreckage of human efforts and announces a new kingdom, that righteousness is not earned, it's received. And he talks about Israel having passion and zeal and even fire, but they aimed it at all the wrong places because they tried to climb their way to the righteousness of God through the law. But they missed that the righteousness is right in front of them because God freely gives it through Christ. So Paul then kind of has some heartbreak. He says that his heart's desire and his prayer to God is for Israel that they may be saved. He's not angry, but he's feeling a heavy burden for them because he sees this nation that's running, but they're running in the wrong directions. And, I feel this way sometimes about my family, some friends that like aren't believers. Um, so I get that feeling. It's hard on the heart sometimes. Um, all right. This is Rod with RA Salt and Silver. Today is July the 1st, 2026. We're going through one of the best chapters in the in the best book of the Bible, Romans chapter 10, and part of the reason why I started this journey making videos. Um, so once again, comment, like, share, subscribe so more people get the word, and let's get into it. So then Paul goes into dropping the hammer as he likes to do with his words. Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone who believes. Christ didn't come to cancel the law, but he completed it. He fulfilled every single requirement that you and I couldn't, every demand, every standard. So righteousness is no longer that ladder that I have to climb. It's a gift. It's a gift that you receive. And Paul reached back to Moses and says something, the word is near you. It's not far or hidden. It's not locked behind a religious gate. It's near, right in your mouth and right in your heart. And this is the simplicity of salvation. First, confess Jesus is Lord. Believe God raised him from the dead, and you will be saved. You heard me. You will be. Not you might, not if you're good enough, not if you fix your life first. Come to him where he's at, and you will be saved. Because salvation isn't about humans' performance, because we fail every time. It's about that divine promise. So then Paul kind of breaks down the walls between Jews and Gentiles, saying there is no distinction between the Jew and the Gentile. The same Lord, for one, is Lord of all. The same salvation is offered to all. The same riches are poured out on all who call on him. And then comes this next piece that is echoed for centuries. Everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. Everyone. The broken, the addicted, the religious, the rebellious, the ones who run from God, like me. I did that for years. And the ones who pretend to serve him, but, you know, the hypocrites, if you will. Everyone who calls will be saved. And Paul doesn't stop at salvation, he moves to mission. He lays out the chain of heaven's strategies. They can't call unless they believe. They can't believe unless they hear. And they can't hear unless someone preaches. And they can't preach unless they are sent. And this is the divine pipeline. This is how faith gets born. It's how the kingdom of God gets advanced. And this is why the word must be spoken boldly, clearly, and unapologetically. And Paul gives this line that shaped preaching. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of Christ. We can't be silent. It doesn't come from wishful thinking. Faith comes when we proclaim the word. But even with all this, Paul says Israel resisted. just like probably we have over time, right? They heard it, but they didn't listen. They saw it, but they didn't believe it. And God says through Isaiah, all day long, I have held out my hands to a disobedient and obstinate people. And even in that rebellion, God reached out. Even in stubbornness, God extended mercy. And even though he was getting resistance, God kept his hands open for us. So Romans chapter 10 is a chapter where the heavens open wide and the chapter where salvation now becomes simple. This is the chapter where the word becomes a weapon, and it's the chapter where faith is born through us preaching, and the chapter that sends ordinary men into the world carrying a message that saves. Remember, the word is near. The Lord is near. Salvation is near as your mouth and your heart. Hey, this is Rod with RA Salt and Silver. Thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your day. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe so more people get the word of Jesus.